Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new then welcome. My name's Christina and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. So before you go, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave any comments that you have for me down below. After 2 Sephora trips, 2 Sephora orders, and possibly one more, we are finally here with my Sephora Sales Event Haul. This was a big one, I have to admit. There are, I believe, like 30 plus products that I purchased. You would think I would have enough makeup doing what I do, but no, somehow I found things that have been in my wish list for quite some time and things I've been curious about, things I want to make more videos on. I do want to say, while we're on the topic of Sephora, the Sephora Squad 2023 testimonials have not closed. I thought that they were closing the same time the applications were closing, however they have not. So if you guys did not get a chance to leave me a testimonial because I did apply for Sephora Squad 2023, please make sure, if you're interested, to go ahead and leave me a testimonial. Again, if I have impacted you in any way when it comes to making beauty purchases or just learning more about beauty products, swatches, whatever it may be, and you feel so inclined to leave me a testimonial, I would greatly appreciate it. It would help my chances, but it is not necessary. And if you do not want to leave me a testimonial, that is totally fine. I totally understand. I'm going to continue making content for you guys. So without further ado, let's get into everything that I purchased during the Sephora sale haul. Everything on my face right now, I tried to incorporate what I purchased from the sale, so I will be putting some b-roll in the video so you guys can kind of see the application, and I'm also going to give mini reviews on things that I have not used before, and then just let you guys know what things I purchased that are kind of like restocks, or you know, formulas that I've tried before but just like in different colors. So I have this big Sephora bag. So when I went to go pick up my order, I like browsed a little at Sephora store, and then I also had a pickup order, and then I forgot something, so I had another pickup order. So they kind of just like put all of my bags in each other, which was really funny because when I was like pulling them out, my husband was like, "That's a lot of stuff," and I was like, "You are correct." First, we have this Nest candle in the scent Lime Zest and Matcha. I actually received a small like sample size of this on Sephora's website. This is exactly the type of scent that I love. I love how clean it is, how fresh it is. I love the little zing of matcha. If something has any sort of matcha scent to it, I am completely drawn to it, and I think the Lime Zest in this just adds a little bit of that bright freshness to the matcha scent, and it's beautiful. It's great. I got the 8.1 ounce candle. I really wanted the 3-wick or 2-wick candle, but it's just so expensive even with the 20% off. By the way, I am a VIB Rouge, so I do get the 20% off. My sale started on the 14th, I believe, and it runs all the way to the 24th. And depending on your Sephora tier, you do get a specific amount of percentage off. So VIB Rouge gets 20% off, VIB gets 15%, and then Beauty Insiders get 10%, but everyone collectively gets 30% off on Sephora collection. Next up, we have this Necessaire, the body exfoliator in the scent Eucalyptus. I talked a little bit about this in my last favorites video, I believe. I had a smaller version in the Necessaire kit that I purchased from the last Sephora sales event, and I absolutely love it. I love the way that the scrub feels. It's not too aggressive on the skin, but it really does get you feeling super soft, and it really like softs off that dead skin. The eucalyptus scent is nice and subtle, and it doesn't irritate my skin. I have been having more irritation on my skin from fragrances, so I am very mindful about the scents and the products that have scents that I'm putting on my body, but the Necessaire line so far has been really nice to me, and I really enjoy this. It's hard for me to purchase an expensive exfoliator just because I feel like I use so much at one time, but I just had to because it is so good. I think this is my only hair product. I bought the Amika Soul Food Nourishing Mask. This I've heard lots and lots of good things about. I have used the Amika dry shampoo in the past, and that was one of my absolute favorite dry shampoos. Amika itself as a brand just has really great reviews. That smells really nice. Oh man, kind of smells a little like shea butter, a little bit coconutty, and a little fruity. I really like whenever hair masks smell like this because it does leave your hair smelling a little bit like the mask, and I like smelling it throughout the day. So hopefully this does well in my hair. I can't imagine it doesn't. My hair really loves nourishing, hydrating products, especially now. Next, we have the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation in the shade 3.5 Neutral. It's right here, and this is probably the product that's been on my favorites or my wish list on Sephora's website the longest out of everything that's on my favorites. And I don't know why it took me so long to finally purchase it. You know what? I actually do know why it's taken me so long. Since I do review a lot of foundations, I just couldn't justify buying another foundation just cause. Like, I felt like I needed a reason, like doing a video or something, to buy another foundation. But I decided I've been curious about this for so long, and it just seems like something I would really enjoy, so I finally purchased it, and I'm really glad that I did. I really like this packaging. I like this squeezy plastic of it. I think that it makes it even more usable because I can get more out of it. I think the shade that I picked out is actually perfect. My husband actually helped me shade match in the Sephora store, and I really like the neutral tone to it. It's not too gray on me, and it has a little touch of yellow, which is exactly what my skin tone is like. I think that I can continue to use this as I get a little bit more tan, but I don't think that I can use it at my most tan. I've tried it about twice now, and I really like how lightweight it feels, and it definitely has a little bit more of that light, like gel texture to it. I feel like I can blend it out really nicely with my fingers and then finish off the blend with a sponge. I've also used it with a brush, and I think that's really nice. I would say that this gives me medium, maybe medium full, like buildable coverage, and it's really good so far. I have no complaints. I think it looks really nice, and it looks very natural on the skin. Next is another product that I was a little bit on the fence about for a while, probably since it came out, but I finally decided to pick it up. It is the Milk Makeup Future Fluid All Over Cream Concealer in the shade 15NW. I thought that my shade was going to be 9N, I think it was, but when I actually went into the stores and I swatched it, I'm glad I actually went into the store instead of just ordering it, because I think that 15NW is probably my closest match. This concealer is supposed to be full coverage. For me, I would say that it's medium to full, or like a light full coverage, you know. I really like the texture of this. As you guys may know, Kosas's Revealer Concealer is my absolute favorite concealer. It's nice and light and hydrating. This one, in comparison to that, is slightly thicker, and it does definitely have a creamy texture to it, but I really like the fact that I have enough time to really blend it out. I do find with concealers that are more full coverage that I've been using, such as the Urban Decay Quickie Concealer, that one does dry down fairly quickly, so I have to work a little bit faster than I do with this one. This I have a little bit more time to play with and like blend out. My only thing is that this one almost matches my skin tone exactly, so I would say that this is perfect for covering up any blemishes, acne scars, anything like that, but not necessarily brightening. If I wanted something a little brightening, then I would probably have to go down a step to the next neutral shade. But other than that, I think it looks really great. I have it on today, and it covers up my dark circles. It does really well with all of like my redness and stuff, and I think that it feels really nice. I don't think it's heavy at all on the skin. I only picked up 2 foundations this time around, and the second one that I picked up that I'm actually wearing today is the Basma Beauty foundation stick. This one went pretty viral online a while ago. I don't even know, maybe like a year ago. I cross-referenced it to other foundations using Sephora's Shade Match Finder, and sometimes that isn't really the most accurate for me. Either they can't find the foundation based on the foundation I picked to match it with, or it just is completely off. So what I did was I picked maybe 2 or 3 foundations that I felt like were pretty close perfect matches to me, and I did all of those, and the shade that came out for me that was a match was 021, and actually this I think matched me perfectly. I will say I was a little surprised to see how small this foundation stick is. It is very, very thin in circumference. For me, I would say again this is medium to full coverage, because I could still kind of see my freckling and my sunspots and stuff on the tops of my cheeks, but But this combined with my concealer, I think looks really good, and it really covered up all of that like freckling and all of those sunspots. It's not creamier than, say, the Merit foundation and concealer stick. If you guys have used that one, it is quite creamy. I would say that this one, it has a little bit more of a waxy grip to it, you know, so it's not just like slipping on the skin. But I really enjoy foundation sticks. I haven't used them in quite some time, but they used to be my go-to. Like the Hourglass foundation stick was my go-to. I loved that one. Also, the Makeup Forever foundation stick was an absolute must for me. This one definitely is a little less coverage. It feels a little bit more wearable, I guess, and also is a lot more creamy than the Makeup Forever one. And I think it is also creamier than the Hourglass one. Those are more matte finishes. I would say that this is a natural matte finish. I don't know what it says on here. Oh yeah, it's a full coverage foundation and the finish is natural. So it definitely gave me like that natural vibe. Didn't add any slickness to the skin, but it didn't really super mattify the skin, which I like. I like a really good natural, or like a natural sheen to the skin. I'm a little afraid that I'm gonna go through this quickly. If you are the type of person that just likes to stick to one foundation and one only, I think now is the best time to purchase this one, because spending, how much is it usually? Spending $40 on this for the amount that you get, I feel like is pretty pricey. So I would recommend, if you're interested in this, to buy it now during the sale. So I bought 3 powders, 2 loose powders and then 1 pressed powder. So the first one that I bought is the Laura Mercier Translucent Honey Powder. I use the translucent powder all the time, but I got one of those little sample like packets that had the translucent honey shade in it, and I really liked it. I felt like it suited my skin very, very well, which wasn't a surprise. Obviously, I do have some yellow tones in my skin and I am medium complexion, so the honey one just doesn't feel as stark on my face. And I also bought the Huda Beauty Banana Bread loose powder. So both of these are the banana shades, and they are quite different in my opinion. So here we have the Huda Beauty Banana Bread one, and then we have the Laura Mercier Translucent Honey. So you can see there is a lot more yellow tone in the Laura Mercier one than there is in the Huda Beauty one. This one is more like a tint of yellow, whereas this one is definitely a yellow powder. So depending on what you're going for, I think that either one of these are a good option. I used the Huda one for the first time today, and I always hear really great things about it. So it definitely does have a scent to it. However, when I put it on my face, I didn't notice it too much, but I also didn't do a heavy bake, so keep that in mind. And I like the shade of the banana. Again, I think that it's super subtle and it adds a little bit of brightness to the skin. But in saying that, I think that the Laura Mercier one is going to suit me a lot better in the summertime when I'm super tan. This one works for me now quite well, and when it's actually on the skin, it's not this yellow, so don't be too afraid of that. It does like blend out into a lighter yellow shade. Again, it was my first time using the Huda Beauty one, so I don't have a full-on review on how it wears and stuff, but I do use the Laura Mercier one quite frequently, and I would say this is one of the most mattifying loose setting powders that I own, and I really like it when I want to like really bake and set something down on my face. The other powder that I purchased is the Fenty Beauty Invisimatte Setting Powder, Instant Setting Plus Blotting Powder. As we all know from the Super Bowl, Rihanna blew this one up again. This isn't a new product, but she definitely got a lot of people talking about it when she used it during the Super Bowl. I saw someone on TikTok use it. She was talking about how she finally figured out a way to get her under eyes to stop creasing, because she has very creasy under eyes, and I thought, hey, I have that issue too, especially now that I'm getting older. I could definitely use some tips and tricks on how to keep the creasing at bay. So she set her concealer with this powder, and then she set it with, I think, a Huda Beauty powder. I did that the other day and my under eyes looked super, super smooth. I will say that my really intense crease right here, I have one like very deep crease under each eye. Those still crease, unfortunately, but I also didn't like go ham with the powder. Maybe I'll try it We'll see, but it still looked really nice and super flawless, and I thought that this would be really nice for touch-ups as well. I like to take compacts, like pressed powder compacts with me, and I'll use like a blotting sheet to blot excess oil, and then I'll use a compact to just blot on top to keep oils from surfacing after I blotted off the existing oils. So this has been very nice so far. I have no complaints, and it is translucent, so it doesn't look white on the skin. Next, I purchased One Size by Patrick Starr's Until Dawn Mattifying Waterproof Setting Spray. I have it on today, and this thing is legit like a hairspray. The way that it looks, the way that it sprays out, it does have a slight scent to it, but again, it doesn't linger. I am quite sensitive to fragrance, but I don't notice this lingering on my skin. The hairspray aspect to it, there's something really satisfying about like feeling like you're spraying hairspray on your face. I don't know if that's weird. But what sold me on this one is everyone always talks about how great this is and how it keeps your makeup super long wearing. I saw Patrick do like a little video on Instagram where he sprayed his face and he dunked his whole head in the water and his makeup was still on, and he patted his face with a towel and his makeup was still on, and I was like, okay, Patrick, you got me. You got me. So I had to try it out. Even though I do have a couple of setting sprays that I'm using currently, I needed to try it. Speaking of under eyes, this is, I think, the only skincare product that I purchased this time around. Sometimes I will focus solely on like skincare products during the Sephora sales, but this time I didn't because I still have a ton of skincare products I'm trying out, but the only one that I picked up was this one, the Ulla Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream. I used this years and years ago, and I had a kit as well that one of my girlfriends got me last year, and I used that up. And using it again, I remember how much I loved it. It's super brightening under the eyes, but not only that, it's very hydrating, and it works really nicely as a primer for makeup. So to prime my skin, I'll use a very hydrating moisturizer or very moisturizing primer or something of that sort, and then I'll use this on my under eyes, and I'll let everything absorb before I go in with any of my makeup. And this just helps to fill in any of those lines. It helps to plump up the under eyes, and it just looks brighter, and it gives you a better starting point for when you put makeup on. And I feel like all of the concealers I've used with this so far has really glided onto the skin really nicely, and I love this. This is a bestseller for a reason, for sure. All right, let's get this out of the way. I have 4 Makeup by Mario pencils here. 2 of them are lip liners and 2 of them are eyeliners. I use my Makeup by Mario Perfect Brown eyeliner all the time in my tight line. I use it every single time I want to tight line. I didn't buy the black one originally because I wanted to use a brown eyeliner for wings and stuff. I really like using brown eyeliner. This is actually another product that I bought that's not Makeup by Mario, but I really like doing brown wing eyeliner. I feel like it's a little softer and it's very nice, but I finally decided to pick up the Perfect Black one, and I used this today to tight line. I feel like this eyeliner is absolutely spectacular. It stays in place. It's easy to smudge out, but once it's set, it is set. It does not like smudge or like drip anywhere on my face, I guess. It's extremely creamy. I think they're super easy to use, and the pigmentation on these are just wonderful. I love it. When I first got the brown shade, I did have a little bit of a learning curve with the brush because the bristles are quite long, so you don't have as much control as you would with like, you know, a regular angled brush, I would say. But I really like this because you can do small and short strokes to really wing out your eyeliner, and it just looks so great, and it smudges out that pencil very nicely. I feel like this brush only really works with this pencil because of how creamy it is. And then the other eyeliner that I picked up is going to be the shade Rich Blue, and that's what I have on my under eyes today. I think it's beautiful. It's kind of like a navy blue, but blended out, it almost looks like a turquoise, I want to say. So whenever it's like concentrated, it looks like a nice navy blue, but then blended out under my eyes, it kind of looks like a fun bright turquoise. So that's really fun. I wanted the deep plum, but it's out of stock. Maybe if it goes into stock, I'll purchase it because I feel like that one would be so beautiful with brown eyes. I need to stop myself from buying more stuff, honestly. So the two Makeup by Mario pencils, lip pencils I bought are the shade Travis and Milk Chocolate, which upon first look, they seem very similar, which is a little concerning, but let's swatch them. I have Travis on right now, and I topped it with Makeup by Mario's lip color in the shade Barely Pink. This one I did not buy during the sale. As you guys know, I did a video on that one. And by the way, with every Makeup by Mario pencil that you purchase, you get a sharpener in the box. So I have a lot of them now. Again, I have Travis right here, which is a beautiful brown that has a little hint, I would say, of pink. And then I have Milk Chocolate right here. Oh, I guess this one is more of a true brown. So this is definitely more of a brown, whereas Travis is more of a pinky brown. But I also purchased the Makeup Forever eyes, lips, and I think cheek pencil. It's the Artist Color pencil, and this is in the shade Total Taupe, and that's actually what I'm using as my eyeliner today. This one is very nice and creamy actually for like a regular pencil. It's right there, definitely more on the taupey side when you compare it to those lip pencils. I think on the lips it may pull a little more gray and taupey than I want it to, but we'll see. It may act as a really nice like contour shade, but on the eyes I think this is really beautiful. It's a nice subtle taupey shade. It's a little bit different, like I said, than the Makeup by Mario Perfect Brown, because that one is definitely more of a deep brown, whereas this one is just a little shade of brown, I would say, and it looks really nice. It's super creamy and it went on surprisingly very smooth. I kind of anticipated this being a little bit more, I guess, dry, for lack of a better term, so more similar to the MAC lip pencils, but this is actually more creamy than that, so it was really nice using as eyeliner. Okay, so I really went in on the eyeliners. I was just thinking I wanted fun eyeliner colors, like pops of color. I wanted to really accentuate the eyes. So I have two more eyeliners, and these are from Haus Labs, and it's my first time trying the Haus Labs eyeliners, and I'm really excited about these. They just look beautiful. I love the feel of these. They feel like an unfinished pencil, if that makes any sense. So I bought the nude shade in beige matte, and then I also have the chartreuse matte. I just couldn't pass this one up. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna wear this one yet, but I really wanted to buy it. These also have a brush tip on the end, and I actually really like this brush tip. It is much thinner, and it's also shorter and denser than the Makeup by Mario ones. This feels super precise. Like you can really like carve out your pencil liner with this. So let's do a swatch here. These are nice and creamy as well. Wow, that shade. I'm so excited to wear that. I don't know how yet. Maybe I'll do a little short. And then I have beige matte here, which I've used the last 2 days on my waterline, and I really like it. It is slightly pink, but it definitely is that nude shade. I just tried to use as many eyeliners as I could today without it looking super crazy, so I'm wearing 4 of the eyeliners. I think that's pretty good. These are supposed to be waterproof. I haven't tested that claim yet, but on the waterline, it is kind of like going away on the outer corners. And the Makeup by Mario black liner that I have on my tight line is not transferring. So, but yeah, I don't know. With any eyeliner that I use in my waterline, I find that the outer corner always kind of just like disappears. Moving on to some cheek products. So I purchased 2 of the brand new Rare Beauty liquid blushes, the Soft Pinch liquid blushes in the shades Worth and Virtue. I did a YouTube short on this, as well as an Instagram reel and a TikTok, all of the things, but I compared the 2 shades, and of the 2, I think Virtue is going to be my go-to. I think it's beautiful, nice beige peach to it, whereas the shade Worth is more of a true rose. I think that one is really nice because it kind of like adds a little pinch of rose to my cheeks, but both of them really great. We all know that the formulation of the Rare Beauty liquid blushes is phenomenal, so they're those. I bought 2 of the Westman Atelier, I'm not sure how to say that, Atelier. You guys let me know in the comments down below how to say this. But I just bought the minis. I have the highlight sticks in the shades. Yeah, they're both highlight sticks. I don't know why they're in different packaging, but I have the shade Nectar and Brulee. So here is Nectar, and then here is Brulee. Brulee is definitely going to be a little bit more bronzy. However, on the actual skin, they're not super pigmented. They are more of like a wet highlight. But this one, you can definitely see it's quite a bit more bronze on my skin. And then Nectar is going to almost look like a sheen on my skin, like where it's like just wet, but there's a tiny touch of color there. It's like a peachy shade right there. And that's actually what I'm wearing on the tops of my cheeks today. This doesn't fully dry down though, I will say that. If you're an oily person and you don't like something that doesn't dry down, I don't know if these are going to be the ones for you. However, I am an oily person, but I think that this looks super beautiful. I think that it adds back a little bit of shine after powdering my face down with those really mattifying powders, you know. I felt like the minis were the perfect size for me because I don't necessarily wear a ton of highlight anymore, and this formula as a highlight was ideal because it just looks like natural finished skin, adds a little bit of a sparkle, but it almost feels like an undetectable type of highlight. I bought another Say blush. I do have the shades Rosy and Poppy, and I love them, and I decided to pick up the shade Chili. I was also thinking of getting the shade Dreamy and Spicy, but I swatched all of them and I decided that Chili was definitely a go-to for me. I have it on today. It's super beautiful, very subtle. Like you can get it really built up, but you can also like tone it down, which is what I did with powder and stuff. I think it looks great. I love this like cool mauve berry tone on me. It's not something I usually go for when it comes to powders. However, with creams, I find that it looks a little bit more natural, and I love the Say Dew Blush textures. It's like slightly thicker, like a gel almost, but it blends out so nicely. Like it almost shears itself out to where it's super wearable. I bought this mini Kosas cloud set in the shade Comfy. I do have the larger version right here, and this one is actually in the shade Pillowy. However, sometimes I feel like if I'm setting my under eyes with it, it is slightly too dark. So I bought the shade Comfy. And like I said, I like to bring pressed powders with me sometimes so I can like touch up if I'm going somewhere, and I felt like this mini was absolutely perfect. And it takes me a really long time to go through pressed powders, so I thought the mini was the perfect little thing. And oh my gosh, look how cute this is. Stop, that's so cute. Also, this is so dirty compared to this. If you are not a powder person, you can't stand how like it makes you look dry or something, this would be the perfect non-drying powder for you. No matter how much you use of this, it doesn't look cakey. It really does give you such a natural finish. It will never completely mattify your skin, which I think is actually a good thing if you're the type of person that can get a little heavy-handed or you just like a natural finish. This is the perfect powder for you. It barely feels like you're putting any powder on your skin, but it definitely helps to set the skin down. It's just so wonderful. At the checkout line, I did pick up this Patrick Ta Major Brow Lamination Gel. I wanted to pick up the full size when this came out, but I told myself not to because at the time I think I was trying out a lot of brow products and they came out with a mini. So I was like, this is the perfect time to try it. And you guys, I used it the other day and I'm not gonna lie, I love the brush. I think it's so fun and innovative, but it's kind of crunchy. I don't know if I would use this as my main source of brow gel, you know, like I may use this as a finishing brow gel, so kind of like the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. I feel like these kind of have the same vibe, but this one almost feels a little bit more crunchy than that one. So for me, I think that this is something I can use like right here on the tail ends of my brows. Those are usually the most stubborn that want to keep moving, so I like to take a harder hold gel and just kind of use it in those areas just to keep it in place. So maybe I will use this for that reason, but I definitely don't think that it's something that I'm going to use in place of like my soap brows. It seems to definitely hold your brows in place for sure. It's just not my favorite feeling on my brows. I bought another one of the Rose Ink blushes in the shade Foxglove. I have the shade Heliotrope, and the second that I put that one on my face, I loved it. And this is going to be a darker tone. So here is Heliotrope, definitely kind of like a dusty blush. And this one is going to be more of that like darker coral, almost terracotta shade right there. Both of these shades are ones that I am always drawn to. This is so buildable. And it looks so natural on the skin. It doesn't make your cheeks feel greasy or anything like that. And you can also use it very easily on top of powder. So I picked up Foxglove because I thought this shade was beautiful. And I already know I like this texture. Okay, I bought one Haus Labs Power Pigment. I got the shade Silver Shimmer. And I used this as an eyeliner the other day. And I thought it was so fun. These high power pigment paints are so good. I have the rose gold shade, I think, and I like to use that as almost like an eyeshadow topper. A little bit of this goes a very, very long way. I'm thinking maybe I want to do a fun cool toned eye look with this, but there is that. Super metallic and fun, but when I used it as eyeliner, it definitely sheared out the pigment, and it was mainly like glitter, and it just looked so fun. Even though I had silver eyeliner, it almost looked wearable. I'll put in a clip right here of what it looked like, but I loved it. It was so good, and none of the glitter moved around. It stayed put all day, and it was great. I bought the Sephora Dry Shampoo Brush Cleaner. So this is kind of like an in-between wash cleaner. So if you want to use your brush for two different things, say you, I don't know, want to use the same brush you use for your bronzer, for your blush, you can easily spray this onto that brush, swipe it onto a paper towel or a towel or something like that, and then it'll clean the bristles and you can use it almost instantaneously. This is nice. It does have a little bit of that oily texture to it. So if you're comparing it to something like Cinema Secrets is definitely more alcohol based where it dries instantly. This one does take like a second to dry after you wash it, you know, with this. It is a lot better, I would say, than the IT Cosmetics Brush Bath. I do have this and I've been using this, trying it out, and this one is too oily for me almost. Like I feel like the excess is like going on my face whenever I use it on a brush, but I haven't noticed that with this just yet. I think it's a lot better than that one. So this one I would say is in between the Cinema Secrets one and the IT Cosmetics Brush Bath. And lastly, we have a fragrance. I only bought a roller ball, or no, a spray, because like I said, I am a little bit more sensitive to fragrances. It does kind of like break me out now, and I also get headaches from fragrance very easily. The Maker just made its debut to Sephora, I want to say a couple weeks ago, and I had to try out the scent Naked. This is supposed to be a skin scent. My go-to signature fragrance is Glossier's You. That is my favorite fragrance. It's the only thing that actually like sits on my skin. It smells good throughout the day. Like it doesn't change and get weird on my skin, you know? And I hear that if you like Glossier You, then Naked from the Maker is a definite like favorite of a lot of people. So I sprayed this the other day, and it's definitely much stronger in scent than You is. So this is supposed to be a unisex warm and spicy scent. It says that it is a warm and sheer scent. The keynotes are erotic passiflora, arousing white musk, and wet wild orris. That all sounds very sexual. It says it's a sensual skin perfume featuring notes of those keynotes that I said earlier to evoke the scent of a love affair. Ah, interesting. Okay. Well, I really like more musky, spicy, woodsy, well, whatever Glossier You is, I like that, you know? I'm not a big fan of floral scents, like super floral or super candy-like. I don't like any of that stuff. And this is only the second time I've tried this. So far, it's good. I do smell it a lot more than I do Glossier You. Like with Glossier You, other people still smell it even when I don't. So I like that. I like that I know that the fragrance is still on me and people can smell it, but it's not like bothering me, you know? So we'll see how this one goes. That was everything I bought from the sale. I know it was a lot. Don't remind me how much I bought. It was a ton, but I'm excited to keep trying these products out. I'm excited to make some content using these products. I hope that you guys enjoyed them. Let me know if you picked up any of the same products that I did, or if you have any actually, I do want to say while wrapping up this video, I have a lot of products that I would recommend from Sephora that you pick up during the sale, and anything really that have been on my favorites recently, anything that's been on my rating and review videos that I've rated highly, or really any foundations that I've tried, lip products that I've tried from Sephora. I would recommend those if I gave them a good rating, like in my final thoughts, you know? So keep that in mind. I don't have a lot of foundations, or I don't really have any lip products because that is what my channel mainly is about. So that is why I didn't haul a lot of them, but I would definitely recommend a lot of other products from Sephora. If you want some recommendations, I do have some recommendations in my Shop My page. I have like a running list there. And like I said in past videos, if it's at Sephora and I liked it, I would recommend it. So I do have a recommendations video that I filmed, I think last fall, the last sale that happened. So check that out if you haven't already. But I think that is everything. If you guys have any questions for me, or if you need any recommendations, leave them in the comments down below. I would be happy to let you guys know my thoughts. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!